I've picked up a little bit more drift that you want to have some technology, and so I'll go
Yes,
through
sir.
RDTS relatively quickly,
Yes, sir,
and then
sure.
get into part two, and then I would like to have time for question and answer. So um, our title is, or our byline is "Make Virtual Work." Technical section has no geographic location, right? We're global, so we don't have the luxury of like the Gulf Coast section where people can do a lot of meeting in person and all these study groups. We have to make virtual work. So this is certainly along those lines. Um, so basically, RDTS is comprised of members that are interested in R&D technology in upstream oil and gas. And you can see the goals here. I can provide the presentation as well. So you can come back later and look at it. So our main avenues of interaction with the community is through JPT articles, webinars, events, and so forth. Willow Liu is actually involved in planning for this next year, a special session for ATCE. And she is our webmaster and communications program chair. She does a wonderful job with our website, and I'll just quickly show you that. We're actually a pretty big section. Our board comprises 48 people, and I think there's about 7 young professionals. And we've got some very senior people in it as well. People like John DeWart, Chet Oskin, Gordon Mowat, Anuj Gupta, Thomas Halsey, Gaurav Agrawal. These are all very experienced SPE people. And then we have, like I say, there's webmaster communications led by Willow. Then there's webinars and virtual meetings led by Aman Srivastava. He works at Halliburton Landmark. And he's the program chair for the webinars, and they're very active. It's usually every 2 or 3 weeks that there's a webinar. And then there's podcasting with Matt Freeman. And by the way, I see Anas Hassan. He's in our RDTS in the recovery enhancement section with Subhash Airala. So welcome, Anas. Thank you for attending. We do a number of things. We try to have spotlights on our people, and so in this one, I recognized a lead contributor for 2025. Gaurav co-authored, like 6 JPT articles, hosted dozens of webinars, and has mentored new webinar team. And Subhash Airala is at Aramco in Advanced Research Center. He's got 20 years of experience in the industry and 130 technical papers, and he leads the recovery enhancement. And he received an award for reservoir description dynamics for 2025. So, we've got some really outstanding people. It's really like this would be an amazing small company. It's just really a pleasure to work with all these people. So RDTS is now over 5,000 people. It has grown actually since this chart was made. But we are about the 4th largest technical section behind asset management, data science, and well integrity. And it's one of the oldest technical sections going back to the early 2000s. We are distributed geographically, a good concentration in India, and also, MENA, Brazil, Australia, US and Canada, Europe. Those are our main areas, but we are certainly a very global organization. And this is another distribution chart. We face a very serious challenge demographically, that most of our members tend to be more than halfway through their career. And so there's an urgent desire to increase the outreach to younger people, particularly those in universities. And this is recognized at the very highest level of SPE that we need to bring in younger people into the organization and keep them motivated to stay in the industry. SPE as a whole probably peaked around 2018 as well. We peaked at like 5,400. So, we're not too far off our peak at over 5,000. I think its latest count might be over 5,200. So we've done okay in terms of our attrition's been not good, but not too severe. So about half of our members in RDTS are engineers, almost half. And then of the non-engineers, they kind of break down into the managers, R&D, executive, consultants, educator are the main slices. And then you've got some other additional distributions. In terms of company, the largest is service and manufacturing. That's where a lot of technology from service providers is discussed and advertised, as it were. Then independent oil and gas, national oil companies, consultants, major integrated oils, academia, and other. About 3% government agency. Saudi Aramco has our most members at about 250, and then Schlumberger almost 150. And then, between 50 and 100 for a slew of other organizations. This is kind of a nice little chart. So Harry Solomesdis did this chart back in September. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to see this. Very colorful, of course. So in January of 2023, the Thomas Halsey and Gaurav Agrawal organized a Grand Challenges workshop. And we had like 2 days of presentations. And then on the third day, we had breakout sessions. And in the breakout sessions, there was kind of a polling where we determined, each group, and then the votes were kind of put together and consolidated into like, what are the 6 biggest challenges for the industry, for the coming decade? And it turned out that we had these 6 named challenges. There was in 2023, there was an article in JPT about all 6 of them. And then in 2024, each individual grand challenge had an article in JPT. And you can go back and search for them. But we named them as geothermal energy, improved recovery from tight and shale resources, carbon capture, utilization, and storage, net zero upstream operations, which of course the methane technical section addresses that as well, digital transformation, and education advocacy. So yeah, there is overlap between our areas and other sections, of course, but these were the identified challenges. And so we kind of use these themes to develop our program. And I think that was probably seen on the first chart with our organization. In 2024 ATC at New Orleans, there was a special session with AMTS, and then we had a reception with visitors. Zikri talked about AI at Schlumberger. We had someone from NVIDIA talk about modeling and simulation, where it was much more cost effective. There was a discussion of I guess a steam generation plant up in Alberta, and they did a simulation of various features of changing the hardware without doing any mechanical testing, and learned an awful lot from the simulation. And that was really informative. And then we had someone from Google, and then Amit Kumar from ExxonMobil talked about data science and unconventionals. Yeah, so we had this Q&A series in JPT. I think I discussed that before. This is a list of the webinars, and I can show you a more up-to-date list and where you can find the list. In 2025, last year, we had a reception with data science and engineering analytics, IRMS, and management technical section. And there was a special session on data to decisions, staying at the forefront of advanced computing, simulation, analytics. So coming up this fall, we have proposed, and we haven't heard whether it's accepted or not, but we have 2 special sessions, one on shale EOR decision making, and then another on, this is the one that's led by Willow, is proposed as a two-session feature that goes through basically actor weight is to determine what sort of data you're getting from a well, how good is the data, and then what choices do you make on intervention, like how you would approach if there's a scenario where there's a production impediment, how would you address that, and what data do you need to make a decision? It's supposed to be very interactive. I think they're going to have an app on cell phone and people in the audience to be able to make, respond to polls. And it should be very interesting to do that. Uh, anyways, so we have these 5 themes, technical themes: advanced materials sustainability. Ashok Santra, actually, he's giving a webinar in just a few minutes on his low carbon cement. A digital AI ML led by Yoshi Pradhan. Entrepreneurship with Ali Marsban. They just came up with an entrepreneurship playbook, which is just been sent to SPE to see how we might publish this and make it broadly available to everyone. What I really like about it is very concise and very much to the point. So it isn't a whole lot of reading, but a lot of information. So it should be very good. I should say about the digital AI/ML is that there's a quantum computing workshop that's planned for May in Rice University here in Houston. And we actually have the end of May, a low carbon cement workshop at University of Houston. And membership, education, advocacy. We took so SPE has a requirement to have a program chair in membership. And to that, we added the themes from the grand challenges of education advocacy. And Professor Khalid Enab at Texas A&M International University has done a great job in education outreach. He goes to high schools and gets students involved through like a week-long workshop, actually going out to the field and seeing some rigs and stuff, and gets people drawn into the program. And then they come to the university, and he's, I think, pulled in a total of 80 students. He started a graduate program as well. So he's really done a great job of, bringing young people into the industry. And then we have Subash and Recovery Enhancement. They have actually a couple webinars coming up in April, and then they're planning for at over in Saudi Arabia, a KFUPM, a day-long workshop in at the university there. So I think I talked about most of these programs. Let me just show you the website. If you're interested in learning more about RDTS, oh, this may not show you. Are you seeing a web page or not? I think you probably are not. Yeah, I'm just going to share screen too. Can you see it now? Okay. So if you go to, let's see, we go to spe.org. And if you come over here to technical sections, go down here to R&D and click here, it brings you to our SPE Connect website. And Willow is the brains behind this. She's done a great job putting this all together. Here's we have spotlights. This month is Homing Ma. Kind of little pictures of the various webinars. That's a distribution chart, the grand challenges. That's Thomas Halsey. He was our past chair. And then we have activity spotlights. So up here, you can go to the section officers. So these are all the 48 people in RDTS. You can click here. That's Matt Balhoff. He's chair of the department at UT Austin of Petroleum Engineering. And it should take us to his LinkedIn. Oh, well, some people have bios and some people don't. Okay, so that's the bio for Steven Samoil. And this, okay, here, so you click on there, you can find out about all the people in RDTS. So go to all their LinkedIn pages. Some people sent Willow short bios and some people didn't. So that's a little bit hit and miss. But so GPT articles are listed here. We've got events. These are all the webinars. You can also get to these on Energy Stream, but this is pretty, very well maintained links to all the webinars that RDTS holds. And you don't have to search for them. They're all right here that we do. So yeah, that's kind of the website. There's a lot of things to poke around and find. Willow also made our quantum computing website where people can read about the quantum computing symposium that we have in May. We've been sponsored by 3 organizations: QEDC, Quantum Economic Development Consortium, IBM, and Schlumberger. And yeah, there's some articles down here to get primed up on quantum. You can read some articles here. And this is the agenda as it stands currently. So that should be very exciting. It'll be the first SPE symposium on quantum computing. So we're trying to figure out, what we need to do to be prepared and when do we need to start thinking about working towards quantum computing. And then you probably see a lot of Informs announcements. By the way, if you're not subscribed to RDTS, you can select it in your profile in SPE, and there's no charge to be a member. And there's a QR code at the end for that. So here's one. There's one later.